Families of loved ones being buried at a local cemetery say they're finding out at the very last minute they owe more money for burial plots.
We told you earlier tonight on KXAN News at 6 o'clock about the burial plot dispute that's going on at the Georgetown Memorial Cemetery. All new at 10, KXAN's Robert Maxwell continues his in-depth coverage on the competing future plans for this cemetery.
And people told us Georgetown Memorial Cemetery has double charged them for plots. They say family members purchased the grave sites years ago and in some cases didn't necessarily get a receipt. They say a former cemetery caretaker recorded the original transactions on old ledgers. Volunteer board members tell KXAN they aren't willing to release those books or other papers until they complete what amounts to an internal audit later on this summer. Now that is the first time cemetery stakeholders like Norma Robles Ardono have heard that. They recently filed a lawsuit so a Williamson County judge can force the board to open its records.
They planned for our future, but now that this generation has grown, we're finding out that we don't have our plots anymore.
And there's no answers from the board?
No answers from the board. I've tried everything. I've emailed, phone calls, I've addressed them, I've approached them, I've done everything. I even hired a lawyer. They ignored our lawyer, so I don't know what else to do.
All new at 10, though, board members reveal to KXAN their goal is to restore the 44-year-old cemetery to its original beauty with new rules and new fees for things like maintenance. Last week, we knocked on the door of the board vice president, told us years of what he called mismanagement have forced the board to start over from scratch. We also asked him about the board's new fees and the board's ongoing silence. Can you also tell the members where the funds are going to, whether there's a financial accounting that's been done by the treasurer of this board?
It will be, everything will be turned in when it's ready. From 1 to 10, the complete.
Why not just tell the membership that? They seem like they're in the dark.
They never want to listen anyway. They got their own agenda, like I said. So,
what do you think their agenda is, though?
So I'm just going by that.
And the key question hanging in the air tonight, too, is what is really in the caretaker's old ledgers? The board's attorney, Jeff Kuhleman, tells KXAN, well, he hasn't actually seen them. What's inside may not be detailed yearly records of who bought what plot and when, as is alleged in that lawsuit put forth by the plot holders. Instead, he says they contain mundane daily diary entries. Now, the last time anyone outside the board saw the ledgers was more than a year ago at the last public meeting. And we'll follow this story through the courts to let you know what those ledgers really show. Our complete story is online right now in the Investigate section of KXAN.com. Back to you.
Thanks, Robert. This story first came to us from a viewer tip. Email us at investigates@kxan.com or call the number there on your screen, 512-703-5255, if you have something you want us to dig into deeper.